This is RD Sharma solution. We are taking chapter number 17, exercise 17.2, increasing and decreasing functions. Find the interval in which the following function are increasing and decreasing. So this is exactly similar to what we have done already. The difference only what you see is the factor is already been made. So we have to make it as what we have seen in the earlier question, that is multiply. So I am multiplying it. Fx is equal to x minus 1 into x minus 2 whole square. This a minus b whole square is a square plus b square minus 2ab. This is x square, this is b square, so 4 square, and minus 2 into x, that is 4x. Now just multiply this, and I hope you'll be able to multiply. This is just a proper common multiplication. You'll get x cube minus 5x square plus 8x minus 4. This is what you'll get. Now this is what we have already seen in the previous questions. So we will take the differentiation now. F dash x is the differentiation. So this will be 3x square minus 10x. So I am differentiating each term. I am differentiating. That is dy by dx. That is f dash x. So this is will be 8. 4 will be 0. So 8 is a 24 it is. So how do you get 10 from this? So 6 4 is a 24. You can also use this 6 and 4. 3x square. You have minus 6x minus 4x plus 8. Now you can take 3x common, x minus 2, here also you can take, this is 6x square actually, minus 4, x minus 2, x minus 2 into 3x minus 4. So what do you get? X minus 2 equals to 0, and so x equals to 2, and 3x minus 4 equals 0, that is x is equal to 4 by 3. So this x equals to 2 and x equals to 4 by 3. These are the critical points. So this critical point will tell you on the left or on the right where this curve is increasing or decreasing, or these are the intervals. There are different intervals where the function is increasing or decreasing. So let us start with the increasing one. Increasing is f dash x should be greater than 0. That means x minus 2, 3x minus 4, this should be greater than 0. Now which one is lower one? I told you in the previous discussion that we have a less than b. So we can directly write the answer. So what we will do? X is equal to 4 by 3, x is equal to 2. So this I am writing first, 3x minus 4, because 4 by 3 is lower than 2. Now put it on the number line, keep it on the number line. This is 4 by 3, it will be lower than 2. This is negative infinity, this is plus infinity. So when we have two factors, when we multiply, it has to be greater than 0. This means what? You will take these two areas, and this have already we have established. So I'll write the answer directly. X should be less than 4 by 3, or actually and, it should not be and, or it should be and. X greater than 2. X is less than 4 by 3 means what? And x is greater than 2 is what? X should be in between, because anything which is level lower than 4 by 3 is negative infinity. So you are from negative infinity to minus this 4 by 3 plus 4 by 3, and you can just union it, combine it with 2 to infinite. So this both is the union, and this is the solution for increasing one. Now coming to the decreasing one, f dash x should be less than 0. So 3x minus 4 into x minus 2 should be less than 0. Again, we have already discussed. So x should be between the lower one and the higher one. 4 by 3 is the lower one and 2 is the higher. So x is between 4 by 3 and 2. So x, you can call it as x belongs to 4 by 3 and 2. So this is your solution. Now you can just, making a number line is always good in order to complete your solution. So this is 4 by 3. This is 2. So anything which is below 4 by 3 and above 2, this is increasing. So it will be plus minus plus, because it is increasing. Wherever it is increasing, we write plus, and wherever it is decreasing, we write negative. So negative is just a symbol. So how are you going to write it? This is the procedure you need to follow, and this way you have to go ahead. So the next question, so 1.16, that is we have already covered 16 questions, and most of the questions that we have covered are like this only. So I'm going to show you the reference solution. Same thing here, similar question, there will be no difference, only there will be certain calculation that you can always do. Now this is a different kind of question which you see. It is not very different, but the initial thing which we perceive is something different, and especially we have certain denominators here. The solution should be on the same track. The procedure we are going to follow is the same. The first thing what we do, that we are going to eliminate the denominators. 10, 5, all these we can just get rid of. How are we going to do that? We are going to take the LCM. So we have 5, 5, 10, and you take the LCM. What will be the LCM? If you take the LCM, it will be 10. So when you have this LCM, you see 10 divides by 10 by 1. So you multiply 1 with 3x to the power 4. 5 divides 10 by 2. So you multiply 2 with 4x cube. So it will be minus 8x. When you there is nothing in the denominator, so you just multiply 3x square with 10. You have 5 to the 10, 5 to the 10, so 2 into 36x will be, so it will be 72x. And again you have 11, so there is nothing in the denominator of 11, so you have to multiply directly 11 with the 10. So it will be 110. So I have written 10, it will be 110. There is a slight mistake, you can just correct. And I am 1 by 10 I am taking outside. When you differentiate this, I am differentiating now. 12x cube minus 24x square minus 6x plus 72. The last one will be, that was 110, is going to be 0. Alright. So what you can take outside. If you take 12 outside, because 12, all the values which are in front of the x, they are all divisible by 12. So when you take this 12 by 10 you can take outside. So even if you keep it, you can write it as 6 by 5. It's up to you, because we are going to deal with the next part, which is the variable part, the terms having the variables. So now when you take 12 outside, what will be remaining? X cube minus 2x square minus 5x plus 6. This is 6 by 5. If you divide these two, 6 by 5. We are going to take this in just a while, but this x cube minus 2x square minus 5x plus 6. So we are going to take the factors of this. Now normally we put 1, -1, 2, -2 normally. And when we have this negative values, you can put any of these. Whenever you have plus sign in between this, means if you have the term or the expression which has a positive, don't try putting negative, because it won't work normally. But here, let us say that we put x equals to 1. So 1, if you put, you will get certain solution. If you get a 0, that means x is equal to 1 is satisfying. So x minus 1 is a factor. So just take 1, because there are negative in between. So you have 1 cube minus 2 into 1 square minus 5 into 1 plus 6. So 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 minus 7 is 0. So this 7 minus 7 is 0. So you get x is equal to 1, x minus 1 is the factor. So there are various questions that are going to come of this sort. So I am going to divide it. If you want to find more factors, you have to divide this x cube minus 2x square minus 5x plus 6 divided by x minus 1. So this 1, minus 1, 2, minus 2, all these are just hit and trial. You should know the way of finding the factor that we have already discussed in previous discussions. So you just write this x cube minus 2x square minus 5x plus 6. We are dividing it by x minus 1. So this x minus 1, now you can write x square here. So x into x square is x cube, minus 1 into x square is minus x square. Now subtract. Well, when you subtract x and x cube minus, with that gets cancelled. You have minus x square minus 5x plus 6. You need minus x square, so you have to multiply x with negative x. You get negative x square plus x. Now again change the sign because you're subtracting. This gets cancelled, and this minus 5x and negative x will be negative 6x. So negative 6x plus 6. This you already know. I'm just doing it for the sake of completion. And you need negative 6x, so just multiply it by negative 6. So negative 6x plus 6. You can just change the sign and this will be 0. So it will be x square minus x minus 6. And again you have to make the factor of this. 6 is of course 2 into 3, and 2 and 3 will give you 1, because there is 1 in between. So x cube minus 3x plus 2x minus 6 you can write. X you can take common, x minus 3. You can take 2 common, x minus 3. So x plus 2 into x minus 3. So you have 3 factors here. X minus 1. We have not completed. We have just made the factors. We have not just yet reached increasing and decreasing discussion. So x minus 1, x plus 2 and x minus 3. What are the critical points? Just put this equal to 0. So x equals 1, x plus 2 equals to 0, x is negative 2. X minus 3 equals 0, that is x equals to 3. These are all the critical points. That is, in these interval, these are critical points which makes the intervals. And in these interval, the function may be increasing, it may be decreasing. So this kind of question we have not done earlier. So f dash x is greater than 0. So let me tell you, there is a standard solution here. And for f dash x less than 0 with 3 factors, it's a standard solution. 12 by 10 is already there. So you are just doing 12 by 10, 12 divided by 10, x minus 1 into x plus 2 into x minus 3 greater than 0. So when you put greater than 0, you just represent it on the number line first. And I'll tell you the standard solution. If you are aware of this, then it's okay. Otherwise, I'll tell you just now. So I am writing all the critical points here. And this is 1, negative 2 and 3. I already told you. From left to right, negative to positive will commence. That is, lower value will be on the left, and on the right it is going to be the higher number. So when you have f dash x greater than 0, so anything which is greater than 3, that is 3 to infinity, is your solution. And on the left, because 0 is which I have put in here, 0 is not there, only negative 2 and 1 is there. So negative 2 and 1, this is the point where it is going to be increasing, and 3 to infinity it is increasing. I hope you got the idea. Anything which is 3 to infinity is increasing, and between negative 2 and 1 it is increasing. How about f dash x less than 0? So same thing with less than 0. I'm not writing it again. I'm just saying that you have to write it with less than 0. So you have the solution as anything which is lower than negative 2, that is negative infinity to negative 2, and between 1 and 3. So same thing means you can just take the analogy. In f dash x greater than 0, it was anything greater than 3 to infinity, and f dash x less than 0 means anything which is lower than negative 2. So negative infinity to negative 2 it is. Minus infinity to negative 2. And what is the other interval on the rightmost interval is 1 to 3. So you just write 1 to 3. How are you going to solve it if you are solving it by yourself? This is the whole procedure which we discussed, and these intervals have to be made. So these are different intervals. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 intervals are there, and these intervals I told you where it is positive or increasing, where the slope is negative, it is decreasing. So if it is greater than 0, then 3 to this first is the leftmost interval. Don't worry about negative infinity, if positive infinity. Negative 2 to 1, and anything on the right of 3. So it's 3 to infinity. So this minus, and how about decreasing? Minus 2 to infinity and 1 to 3. Find the interval in which the following function are increasing or decreasing. Fx is equal to x raised 4 minus 4x. So let me just solve it. So I'm just doing the f dash x, that is the differentiation. X raised 4 is 4x cube minus 4. Now critical point, just put this as 0. Means expression equal to 0, that will give you the critical point. When you take 4 outside, it will be x cube minus 1. X cube minus 1. When you take greater than 0, it is increasing. When you take less than 0, it is decreasing. So let us start first with f dash x, which is greater than 0. So 4 into x cube minus 1. See, in the previous question, when we were taking greater than 0, less than 0, just divide both sides by 6 by 5 or 12 by 10. That will eliminate that constant. So don't worry about the constant at all. Here, when you do this, 4 into x cube minus 1 greater than 0, divide both sides by 4. When you're dividing by any positive number, the inequality sign won't change. So when you divide it by 4, x cube minus 1 is greater than 0, x cube is greater than 1, and x cube is greater than 1 means what? X is greater than 1. X cube greater than 1 means x is greater than 1. Okay, so that is 1 to infinite. Anything which is greater than 1, it goes up to infinite. So it belongs to 1 to infinite. Here this function is increasing. How about decreasing? F dash x less than 0. 4 into x cube minus 1 should be less than 0. Divide both sides by 4. You'll get x cube minus 1 less than 0. So x cube is less than 1. Anything which is lower than 1 is simply negative infinity to 1. If it goes from 1 above 1, it is 1 to infinity. Lower than 1 is negative infinity to 1. So x cube is less than 1, that is negative infinity to 1. X belongs to negative infinity to 1. This is the solution and answer. But we need to know how to solve it also. So this is how you are going to solve it. Now this question is almost similar to the question we have discussed in detail, if you remember. So let us do this question. If it was not clear, then we'll do this again, because this kind of question may come. It has various things to do. So f dash x, before that we have to take the LCM. So 4, 3, 2, how are you going to find the LCM? You know it already. I'm just doing it for the sake of people who can relate with it. So I've just divided by 2. You get 2, 3. There is no value which can divide all of these 2, 3, 1 at one time. So you have to multiply all of these. 2 into 2 into 3 into 1. So 2 to the 4, 4 is 12. 12 is your denominator, which is your LCM. Now what do you do? 4 3 is 12. If you divide 12 by 4, you get 3. You just have to multiply 3 with x raised 4 and write it here. 3x raised 4. Again, 3 divided by 4, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 4 multiplied by 2x cube. So that is going to be 8x square, x cube. Now 2 6 are 12. So multiply 6 with 5x square. It will be negative 30x square. Now 6 divided by 12 is 2. So you have to multiply it by 2. That is, there is nothing in the denominator, sorry. So you have to multiply everything by 6 by 12 and 7 also by 12. Now you forget about this 12. 12 will come in front, and we will only consider or talk about the expression with what we have got. That will make our life easier. The question will be solved easily. So let us start it here. We have 12 x cube. I'm differentiating. So this is differentiation result, and this is minus 72. 84 will get eliminated. So you can take 12 common from here, as we have just completed the previous question. You can just take this 12 outside. So when you take 12 outside, it will be x cube plus 2x square minus 5x minus 6. You have 12 in the denominator also. Now you don't have to worry about the constant because they are already cancelled. Let us put x equals to 1 here. You won't get the answer. Now put x equals to negative 1. So minus 1 whole cube is minus 1. Here plus 2, minus 1 plus 2, minus goes this plus 5, 5 and this is minus 6. So this is 7 minus 7. So it is going to be 0. So x is equal to negative 1 is the one of the root. So x plus 1 is the root actually. Now you have to divide x plus 1. You have to take the actual function, that is the differentiated, the function which is x cube plus 2x square minus 5x minus 6. That is the differentiated function, and divided by x plus 1 because we are interested in that function only. So the factors will come like this. I'm not going to solve that division part. You can do it by yourself. X minus 2 and x plus 3 will be the factor. What are the critical points? X is equal to negative 1. X is equal to 2 because I'm just putting it as 0. X plus 3 is equal to 0. That is x is equal to negative 3. Now don't worry about anything. The logic which I told you, that or you can just mug it up. So this, which is the lowest one? 0 is not inclusive. I'm just putting 0 just to locate other points. So negative 3, negative 1 and 2. So the interval is f dash x greater than 0 is, I'm just saying you have to write everything. So the interval is negative 3, negative infinity to negative 3, negative 3 to negative 1, negative 1 to 2 and 2 to infinity. So there are 4 intervals. 0 just forget about. And f dash x greater than 0 means it has to be greater than 0. F dash x less than 0 means same thing, less than 0. But you know already the solution which we have already discussed. When it is greater than 0, first interval 2 to infinity it is going to increase, and negative 3 to negative 1. That is the rightmost interval including infinity and the leftmost interval without infinity. I told you x minus a into x minus b greater than 0 and less than 0 I already explained. So the same thing applies here. X minus a into x minus b into x minus c less than 0. So there are 3 factors now. So if greater than 0, anything above 2, it is increasing, and between negative 3 and negative 1, it is increasing. So this has come from the above discussion which I did in the first exercise in the first question. When it is less than 0, so it has to be anything which is lower than negative 3, that is negative infinity to negative 3, and the rightmost interval. What is the interval? Negative 1 to 2. So x belongs to, I'm just showing you the less than 0. So x is negative infinity to negative 3. And I told you 0 is not there, but you have to take the rightmost interval. What is the rightmost interval? Without including the infinity. So you have to just see the critical point, negative 1 and 2. So it is union negative 1 and 2. X belongs to this. So this is how you are going to solve whenever it is x cube form. So this is how you're going to solve it. This is the solution for you or reference for you. So just note it and then we go ahead. So again, x to the power 4. You are well versed now and you know how the logic works here. This seems to be a different question, but we are going to solve it in the next part. Till then, thank you so much and take care of yourself.